Welcome to Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys. It is August 19th, the day after primary election. A lot of election results came in last night and decided a number of races, all really but one in the county. And we've been going over those results from our newsroom and local news updates all morning long. Thanks to those who provided live coverage along with myself, Joe Moore from US 1, also Todd German from Hometown, and John Bardis, a longtime political operative and very knowledgeable about all of the political inner workings here in the county. Now he is the administrator for the city of Key Colony Beach, all providing commentary and insight as we talk to all of the candidates that we could and covered that from top to bottom. So we will continue to touch on that through the morning. However, complete coverage was had last night, and thanks for listening in on that. We're going to say good morning to Leah Stockton. She is the Director of Development and Engagement for Keys Health and Housing. Good morning to you. How are you, Leah?
Good morning. Happy day after the election.
I know. Yes. Well, time and life goes on, and Keys Health and Housing has been there for many years, previously as A.H. Monroe, now Keys Health and Housing, building a brighter future together. And especially, we're going to talk about housing this morning because Hope House is a relatively new project and initiative of Keys Health and Housing. So maybe you can bring us up to speed as to what Hope House is and so on.
Absolutely. And thank you for always including us in the show and giving us the opportunity to talk about our work in the community. We appreciate you as a partner. So Hope House is an exciting new project that we have. Historically, A.H. Monroe has been 40 years in the community, and our housing has been in the Key West area. We have 220-ish units here in the Key West area. And so Hope House will be our first project outside of Key West, and it'll be in Marathon. And this will be a really important program. It's going to be a supportive housing program for women and women with children. And we are excited to get this rolling. It will not necessarily be a domestic abuse shelter, but rather will be for women in crisis, whatever that crisis may look like. Mm-hmm. Financial, housing, the health, the list goes on, and the women will be able to stay there for up to 3 years. And while they're staying in the housing there at Hope House, they will receive case management and supportive services. And so by the time they finish the 3-year program, they're ready to sort of take that next step in their life and go on from there. Mm-hmm. And the most exciting part of the program is that we have a private donor that is underwriting the entire cost of the project, including the operations. So the rent, so to speak, the fees that the women will pay while they're staying in the program, because every program has fees that their clients pay while they're staying there, similar to how the rest of us pay rent or a mortgage. That amount will be saved up in an interest-bearing savings account, and at the end of the 3 years will be returned to the woman in its entirety. So it could be up to $30,000 that the woman would then get back to purchase a vehicle, pursue her education, put a down payment on a home, put first last security down at her next place, whatever it is that she needs to sort of take that next big step forward, start her own small business, whatever it is she needs to take that next step forward, she'll be ready for it because of the case management and supportive services, and she'll have her own money that she has worked hard to save up over these 3 years to do so.
Wow. A.H. Health and Housing. That's the website. It's Keys Health and Housing is the name, however. And we're speaking with Leah Stockton. She's Director of Development and Engagement for Keys Health and Housing. Hope House, you said it will be in Marathon, correct?
Correct. We've purchased the property and we're going through the process now for surveys and assessments and, all of those fun things that you have to do first.
Mhm.
And we have engaged a contractor and hope to start the Hope House in 2027 to break ground.
Mhm.
And then hopefully within 12 to 18 months would be able to open it up and start to provide that service. For anyone listening out there that does not know, there is no women's supportive housing shelter, supportive housing, any sort of transitional shelter, any sort of program like that for women outside of Key West in Monroe County.
I was just gonna say, Leah, so is this mission somewhat similar to that of Samuel's house in Key West, or?
It is a bit. Samuel's house it is intended more as a homeless shelter that you can come into, and then a transitional shelter. And the women coming into Hope House, they don't necessarily need to be experiencing homelessness. They could be, but they don't necessarily, say you're living in a place and you're doing all right, and then it sells. The owner decides to sell it and you have nowhere to go. Well, you're now in a housing crisis and you could come live there. Or say you had cancer and you're recovering from it, but you just need somewhere for a few years until you're fully back on your feet and ready to, get back out there. Any sort of crisis like that. It could include somebody who's experiencing, domestic violence, but not necessarily. And for that, we would work with our partners at the domestic abuse shelter for them to provide those services. So it's really just intended to be support. Nearly every person has a point in their life where they needed somebody to, help them along with that next step. And this is intended to be that for the women in our community. Up to 20 women will be able to stay there.
That's wonderful. Hope House is what we're talking about with Leah Stockton from Keys Health and Housing on Good Morning Keys. Housing is dignity, housing is care, and housing is so many other things, including hope. Yes, I'm plagiarizing from your website, but it is all very true. And Keys Health and Housing continues to work towards solutions for housing in our community. Speaking of plagiarizing the website, you're going to have a new website coming up for Keys Health and Housing.
That's right. Our new brand is, we announced Keys Health and Housing as our new name in late March. And as we continue to roll it out, we will unveil our new or roll out. I'm not sure what the appropriate term is. Roll out our new website in October that will really fully bring AH Monroe and Florida Keys Outreach Coalition together in one unified presence online. And it will have these new projects like Hope House and some of the other new housing that we're working on here in health initiatives in Key West and up the Keys as well. All of that will be included. So stay tuned.
And there are so many initiatives that Keys Health and Housing is involved with over the years. But we're talking about housing in particular this time around, just one of the wonderful missions fulfilled by Keys Health and Housing. The lofts, though, are we full at the lofts? Are we still?
We are, this is 1 year. This month, August, is 1 year since we started moving folks into the lofts. Doesn't that time fly by?
Amazing.
And we are not quite full. We do have some availability at the lofts. So anybody out there listening that is interested in living, in the heart of Bahama Village, right by Truman Waterfront, by Fort Zach, etc. It's a great location right downtown. They can reach out and we can see, depending on their income, their family, household size, if they would qualify and if we had something available that would suit.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, again, for now, the website is found at ahhousing.org. New website coming. Hope House also coming to Marathon in the Middle Keys. Lots of good news coming by way of Keys Health and Housing. Leah Stockton, she's the developer of director of development and engagement for Health and Housing. I keep wanting to call
It's okay. It's
40
old
years
habits.
is a long time, but yes.
Old habits, that's right.
Keys Health and Housing. We will get it sooner or later. But thank you so much for being here this morning, Leah, and for the good news. Anything else, though, we should mention at this particular time?
No, just as always, anybody looking to get involved to support, volunteer, advocate, they can reach out to me. And anyone out there listening that needs help with health or housing related challenges, they can also reach out to us, 296-6196.
Well, thank you for the good news. Thanks for all that you do and Keys Health and Housing's ongoing missions being fulfilled here in our community. Thank you once again, Leah. You have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon.
Same. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Leah Stockton. She is the development director, engagement. Oh my goodness. Talking too much yesterday. I will get the hang of it here sometime today, but she's director of development and engagement for Keys Health and Housing on Good Morning Keys. It is 8:18 right now, 86 degrees. We're on our way to 91. Maybe not a record breaker for today, but we're getting close once again. We'll be right back with Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys.
Hey Key West, Dan Hughes here from Historic Pepe's Cafe and Two Friends. Summer specials are here and there's one number to remember, 1995.
1995.
A summer breakfast, lunch, or dinner menu with a real drink, mimosa for breakfast or something stronger for lunch and dinner for $19.95.
1995.
And desserts included. And Pepe's Happy Hour is now 1 to 6 p.m. More than I love Key West history. And we ain't done yet. Happy summer 2026.
1995.
Hi friends, AJ King here with Kia of Key West. August is here and there's no better time to upgrade your ride before the busy fall season. The all-new Kia K4 delivers bold styling, advanced technology, impressive fuel efficiency, and a comfortable interior that's built for every drive. Whether you're headed back to school, back to work, or just getting ready for something new, the Kia K4 gives you premium features without the premium price. Make this August the month that you drive home in your brand new Kia K4. Come visit us at 2826 North Roosevelt Boulevard or visit us at KiaKeyWest.com. Come see why Kia and the Keys just go together.
For more than 75 years, the Florida Keys Mosquito Control District has helped protect our communities from mosquitoes and mosquito-borne disease. Hi, this is Chad with Florida Keys Mosquito Control, reminding you that the summer mosquito season is here. Daily rains can create standing water around homes, while high tides and wetlands can produce large numbers of aggressive salt marsh mosquitoes across the Florida Keys. That's why FKMCD uses science-based surveillance, larviciding, and targeted treatments to control mosquitoes and help protect public health and quality of life. You can help too by dumping standing water around your property, covering containers that collect rainwater, and using insect repellent when spending time outdoors. As always, Florida Keys Mosquito Control is here to help when you need us. Visit keysmosquito.org for more or call us 305-292-7190. That's 305-292-7190.
Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. It was a busy night last night. Had full election coverage with our colleagues. We want to thank them for providing that commentary. And boy, we had a lot of candidates and some victors came up and gave us their comments. Lots more to come to see how things do shape out after the dust settles from last night. We're going to say good morning to Greg Veliz. He's the executive director, Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority. He's also currently city commissioner. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Michael. After last night, water's, I think, the last thing on people's minds. So,
well, it's a constant, and that's a good thing, and it's pretty non-controversial for the most part, unless something breaks, and then you hear about it. You're no stranger to negative comments and press, I guess. But
no, it's been a career full of that. So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it has. But anyway, you can handle it. First off, we do want to thank you for unselfishly stepping up and filling the seat on the city commission for the city of Key West. You did make the decision not to run to continue in the seat, and there's probably some wisdom in that. But we do want to thank you for your service. It's kind of a thankless job, as you are well aware.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Mike. First,
Yeah.
I will tell you this, that it was enlightening. It was an honor to be able to serve up there after having sat in the city manager seat and many other seats. That perspective was different, certainly. So I had a great time up there. I like to think I brought something to the table, and I can't say enough about the experience.
Well, anybody who makes a commitment, I have a lot of admiration for. But yes, it's a big job, and we've got some new people stepping into the seat. And as I mentioned, we'll continue to see what direction things go from here. But I think there'll be a lot to talk about when it comes to city politics and policy and procedure. But we are happy to have you at the helm of the Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority. That's a big enough job all by itself. We're constantly looking for support and funding from the state. And I'm assuming we're continuing to see that, even though the state is also going through some elections and will have some leadership change, whether it's the governor or maybe the senator, et cetera, et cetera. Do you see any of the politics or elections changing what you do and the support that you seek?
No, I really don't. I think, that the economic driver that the Keys are and the contributions that it makes statewide, water is essential. So, and our water situation is unique. So keeping us in water pays the bills. I mean, at the end of the day. So I no matter who gets in where and what the political climate is, the rest of the state is somewhat dependent on the Florida Keys. And I think that keeping us in water and keeping us functioning has got to be essential to either side or whatever happens to be the political climate of the day.
Yeah, well, it's often been said this county is a small county with a big voice, and it is good to hear, the assessment that we do have a lot of influence, at least as far as the state seeing the value of the Florida Keys, and that's certainly helpful in getting our priorities heard. Again, it's Greg Veliz. He's Executive Director of Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority. The Everglades, too, though, sometimes that's a political type of issue as far as how much emphasis and funding the Everglades gets, et cetera. And there's always kind of lobbying behind it. But am I safe to assume that it's in our best interest to make sure that the Everglades are preserved and protected and, water keeps flowing through the reservoir, et cetera? Or does that really have that much effect on us?
It's in everybody's best interest that the Everglades flourishes. I mean, I can't think of anyone that would say no. Obviously we get we've already got PFAS intrusion into the aquifer.
Yeah.
We know that, we've done all the testing. It's not the system, it's what we're receiving. These forever chemicals that everyone's combating, they're originating at the aquifer. So we understand that, and we're having meetings this morning on rebuilding our treatment plant. We're going through the permitting process as we speak. So that's an everyday event here, is trying to get a new treatment plant so that we can meet the 5-year, which is now turned into the 7-year timeline, to get all the forever chemicals out of the water.
Yeah. And Greg, we've talked about the RO plants, and that's an achievement and an accomplishment in and of itself. The treatment plant, though, we haven't talked a lot about that. Where is that? What is its function?
The treatment plant is where all of our water originates. That's where we take the water from the aquifer, we treat it, and we send it down. The treatment process that we currently use does not get rid of forever chemicals. And up until a couple of years ago, that we were well within the guidelines. Now they've put strict guidelines, which have brought the tolerance for those levels down to 0. For us to get to 0, to put it in dollars, it's $100 million. So we had to go through our budget and free up $100 million so that we could start construction on this new plant that we're going to need to meet the new restrictions.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's not easy to find, no doubt about it.
No.
And when you mentioned treatment plant, I didn't know if we were talking about wastewater treatment plant or not, because that's also a function of the Aqueduct Authority.
It is. It is.
Mhm.
And, we're going through that now, too. They're becoming more and more restrictive as to what you do with the effluent.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you come for a new renewal on a permit, it's not a rubber stamp. What have you done to improve that situation?
Yeah.
And all of those improvements to the removal of the effluent is huge.
Mm.
So, Marathon's going through that now with the injection well. I mean, the deep well.
Yeah.
And probably that's where it's all going to end up going, to deep well. So, and those are very expensive.
Yeah. So as far as our projects for the Aqueduct Authority now, where are we as far as the main transmission line, and what's the next step in terms of that replacement?
We are finishing our last bit of the one that everyone saw, the blue pipe on the side of the road, the last iteration of that. We're finishing that up now. We're tying it all in down by the school. We're tying all those lines in. And then we're going south from the original Alamorada spot. And we're looking at a 7-mile stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Design has already been done. And now we're just trying to stay out in front of the money.
Mm-hmm.
We're all meeting here today to sign a bond, a new bond that we've just gotten for $48.5 million. And we continue to play the balancing act of borrowed monies versus rates versus money from grants and or Tallahassee.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes all three legs of those stools to make it stand. So, and they tell me that every time I go to Tallahassee, what have you done? We'd be glad to give you some money, but tell me what you've done.
Yeah.
So we've got to hold up that end of the bargain.
Constantly having to prove ourselves. Greg Veliz, he is Executive Director of Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority on Good Morning Keys. Also our outgoing District 5 Commissioner. Again, thank you for your service in that respect. I would love to have you as a political commentator, but I'm not going to drag you into that arena unless you want to. But you've worked firsthand with a number of the incumbents, of course, and I'm sure that it'll be interesting to see what happens with the city and the commission and the new mayor, et cetera. But is the Aqueduct Authority affected directly by the governance of the city of Key West? I'm not sure, admittedly, if I fully understand whether the Aqueduct Authority is a fully independent agency or if there are, ties and dependencies upon the city that are affected by city politics.
In short, no.
Okay.
We are not affected. What happened last night holds no bearing on the Florida Keys Aqueduct.
Okay.
We are a state agency, a pseudo state agency.
Okay.
We're a special district. So no, there's nothing that can happen politically that's going to affect what we do here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, we operate within the confines of the city. Much of our infrastructure runs through the city, so we deal with them on a daily basis. But no, I don't think the political end of it is going to affect the work that we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need permission from the city. We have to maintain water.
Mm.
So,
yeah, and one reason I ask that is because the mayor-elect is using the word water quality quite a bit. I know that's going to be a priority of his, and I'm assuming that that has no effect on what the Aqueduct Authority does. We're talking more near-shore water quality, that kind of thing. But there are some shifting priorities that we may see at City Hall, but that, as you're saying, is kind of independent of what happens at the Aqueduct Authority.
Yeah, political rhetoric aside, people wake up in the morning, they expect to have water.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, that's our goal.
Yep.
And I don't think there's any political agenda that would go against that. So
mm-hmm. Yep.
So we continue to do what we do.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and if there is no water in the morning, they're calling you. They don't care who's in City Hall. So, yeah, I'd
That's
say
true.
very true. But again, we want to thank you for your leadership, for your dedication to this community, and for your leadership at the Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority. Luckily, the authority has not been in the news much as of late, and that's probably a good sign.
Always a good sign. Always a good sign. Yeah, staying out of the news is big on our end of the thing.
Yeah,
None of our board members get elected. So us being in the news, positive or negative, makes no effect. It's just staying out in front of the job.
Yes.
The less bad press we get, the better job we're doing, hopefully.
I hear you. Well, Greg, again, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else you'd like to mention at this point that we didn't discuss earlier?
Nothing. Just, today's a new day.
Yeah.
And we all still got to live here. So,
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think everyone needs to keep that in mind.
And you have probably one more city commission meeting. Is that right?
No, I don't think so. But apparently I'm still on the job till the 28th. So
Okay.
we thought of make a change in 8 days.
I think we ought to have a
Whatever it is.
big going away party, even though you're just going down the street. But we spend a little bit of the budget on a really nice cake or something. I think that's more than warranted. So, all right, Greg,
Cool.
thank you so much for being here and your willingness to spend time with us in your busy day. Have a great day, sir. We'll talk soon.
Take care, Michael.
All right, you do the same. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
It is outgoing District 5 Commissioner Gregory Veliz. He's also the Executive Director of Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority. So every time you open your faucet, take a shower, say thank you, Greg, and his entire team at Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority. And when you flush the toilet, too, don't forget about the wastewater side. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. We'll return with more Good Morning Keys in a moment.
Right now, there's a critical need for foster parents in the Florida Keys. If you can offer love and support to a child or sibling group, you can be a foster parent. Wesley House Family Services' next foster parent training classes begin August 25th and are offered online via Zoom. If you've ever thought about fostering, now is the time. It only takes one caring adult to make a difference in a child's life. Call Amy Eichen at 305-809-5020 or visit wesleyhouse.org to learn more. Step back in time. Step back into Old Town. Step into Old Town Bakery with fresh baked treats like pastries, cookies, brownies, and fresh breads made every morning. Enjoy hot and cold delicious ground coffee always brewing and handcrafted breakfast and lunch sandwiches made to order on oven fresh breads. And now Old Town Bakery features spinach mushroom feta quiche and ham and cheese quiche, delectable for breakfast or lunch by the slice. Get a whole quiche pie by ordering in-store with 24 hours advance notice. And enjoy new cream-filled croissants with chocolate or vanilla filling and award-winning fresh baked pies, including their key lime pie, voted the best in the Keys. Pick up their unique Old Town Bakery t-shirts for a friend or yourself and give the gift of deliciousness with a gift card available for purchase in-store. And their catering menu is available to make that next event memorable. Old Town Bakery on the corner of Eaton and Grinnell. Stop in or order online. OldTownBakeryKeyWest.com.
Hey folks, summer's here and the deals are hot at Key West Toyota. We've got a huge selection of trucks, new Tacomas and Tundras with great deals, all backed by our local deal match guarantee that can't be beat. So come see the people you know, like, and trust on the boulevard or at KeyWestToyota.com. We've got the keys.
Everything you need is here at Keys Auto Center.
This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys, 85 degrees. 91 will be your high, mostly sunny skies. 83 for the low tonight, partly cloudy. Tomorrow, 91, mostly sunny. And we're looking at Friday already. Boy, oh boy, the week is going quickly. 91 for your high on Friday. The weekend, much the same. Looking pretty good. Sunday, just a 10% chance of showers. As we move right along here, we're going to say good morning to Suzi Youngberg. Suzi is the, let me make sure I've got it right. Our president, is that the structure for Key Largo Chamber? Did I get it right?
That is right, actually President and CEO.
President and CEO. Thank you very much for the legendary Key Largo Chamber of Commerce. Good morning to you, Suzi.
Good morning, Michael.
Yeah, so you're on the road again on your way to Key West. The legendary Key Largo Chamber of Commerce is always active in staying involved with policy on the county level, as well as you represent hundreds of businesses and their interests in the Upper Keys.
That's right. Yeah, I'm actually getting into Key West as we speak, so I get to look for parking, which is always the fun part.
I should have you as my traffic. I should have you as my traffic reporter as well. I know school buses are out. I assume Stock Island is slow, and Big Coppet was slow as well this time of the day.
I will say for anyone who is making the drive down, through the Keys today, it has actually been a very pleasant, non-eventful drive from Key Largo to Key West today. Very happy to report that.
That is very good news. Absolutely. Well, safe travels to you, Suzi, as you continue to traverse the Keys. So let's talk about, though, we're talking about August into September. And before we know it, we're going to have Taste the Keys here, which is going to be bigger and better than ever. So let's talk about that upcoming.
Yeah, that's right. And it will be here before we know it. It's already mid-August. I don't know how that happened. But yes, Taste the Keys will be a month-long event through the month of October, just like it was last year. We rolled this event out as a soft opening in 2024. And then last year, it was just a, full show. We had 20 restaurants participating, and we hope to have more this year. Basically, Taste the Keys is modeled after Miami Spice, which is a longtime event up in the Miami area where area restaurants offer prefix menus, special menus with special prices. So people can go in and try these restaurants, maybe places they haven't been before, knowing, they know in advance what they're going to pay and what they're going to get. So it makes it maybe a little more affordable for some people to try out some restaurants, and just a way to get people in. We want to drive business into these Upper Keys restaurants in a historically slower month, of October. So.
Well, it was
very excited.
Yes, indeed. It was exciting last year, and we're looking forward to this year. Taste the Keys for the entire month of October. And everybody knows about Fantasy Fest. A lot of people drive down through the Keys. Their first stop is the Key Largo Chamber of Commerce and the Upper Keys, and we're encouraging them to taste the Keys in the Upper Keys throughout the entire month of October, whether it's for locals or visitors alike. It's a great event coming up. So we just had a membership luncheon. Was that last week? My weeks are blurring into one another as well, but I think it was.
It was last week. I know time is just flying.
Yeah.
We actually had a great sold out crowd last week for our luncheon. We had Brian Griffin, who is the CEO of Visit Florida, which of course is our tourism destination marketing organization for the entire state. So it was very interesting to hear his insights. I think, of course, you were there, Michael. You heard on what's going on. Positive outlooks for the state, including the Keys coming up with our visitors. So that was really good news.
Yeah, it was. So it's great to get involved and hear about all the news that affects our businesses in the Upper Keys and throughout the Keys. And that was another example of it in a beautiful, beautiful setting at the Reef House. My goodness, it was stunning. What a great place for.
It's hard to beat that view.
Yeah. There's a lot of places like that in the Upper Keys, but the Reef House was extraordinary, and the food was exceptional as well. So we do have an August Members in Motion networking event. That'll be at the Key Largo Civic Club coming up August 27th. Light bites and drinks, plus some fantastic networking, socializing, and fun there with the Key Largo Chamber of Commerce.
That'll be, of course, a week from tomorrow, the fourth Thursday of the month. And a little added fun for that night will be, we will have the United Way folks there. We like to do a fundraiser for them in either July or August. It used to be the Stuff the Bus, back in the day. Now they've sort of pivoted to the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So the last couple of years, they've brought a life-size cutout of Dolly for photos. And it's surprising, to see her on TV. I've been a Dolly fan my whole life. My daddy was a classic country fan.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
you don't realize what a tiny person she is.
I was going to
until you
say,
see
it must be a
that
fairly
little
short,
cutout.
it's probably a short cutout. Indeed. Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
Yes, of course, beautiful. But yeah, so that's lots of fun. Everyone wants to get their pictures made with Dolly, and then, of course, contribute and help out the United Way with that really worthwhile campaign. So we hope lots of people will come out and see the Civic Club, which is always a good time too. They always have good food there.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we'll look forward to that. And then into September already, the very beginning of September, you have the quarterly networking opportunity with Key Largo Chamber of Commerce. It's called Coffee Connections and Conversations. The Sunrise Business Networking starting at 7:30 in the morning, giving local professionals meaningful conversation and fresh morning networking. Again, that's September 3rd.
And that was a new event we rolled out this year. We've done it quarterly just this year, the morning networking, just to, we like to give everyone an opportunity for networking. That's why we do the lunches and the evening events to try to fit different people's schedules. And some people said they're better before they go into the office in the morning. So we're just trying to give some options. Thanks to Bar Victor, which of course is the other side of Vicky Bakery in Key Largo. It's a lovely bar area that they created there, not open at 7:30 in the morning. So they generously give us that area for our sunrise networking.
That's awesome. Well, we're looking forward to that. And then also in September, 1 week after that, it's a special edition of the networking lunch. It's the Health Expo with an extended networking lunch. It'll happen from 11 to 2. And that's an opportunity for people to get together with over 15 health and wellness vendors across the Keys. It's hospitals, clinics, doctors, community service specialists, alternative medicine buffet lunch where you can browse throughout the different vendors and have conversations there. Are we still looking for vendors for the Health Expo itself?
We do still have some openings for vendors. Of course, this is really just for Key Largo Chamber members to be vendors. But if anyone is interested in participating in the Health Expo, we would love to have you join the Chamber and be one of our vendors at the Expo. But it's shaping up to be really good. Another new event we started last year that was such a hit. People wanted us to continue that. And we have, I think I'm already at like 13 vendors confirmed. And it's going to be a little different this year. We have a couple of our more fitness and wellness members interested. So in addition to the hospitals and the clinics, we'll have some other ways to stay healthy and take care of our own health and wellness.
Yeah, very well. Well, it's going to be a busy few weeks upcoming as we get into the fall and the busy season once again. Speaking with Suzi Youngberg, she is the president CEO of the legendary Key Largo Chamber of Commerce. And of course, don't forget the visitor center there, right at the top of the Keys. Opportunities there for businesses to get exposure and promotion as the ambassadors from the Key Largo Chamber of Commerce greet our visitors. Typically a very popular restroom stop and an opportunity for visitors to get acquainted with what they want to do while they enter the Keys.
It is, as of course, the first stop as people come into Key Largo. They're at mile marker 106. We are still greeting. This week I think we've had about 80 people a day that we've been greeting, even in a slower time. Only on season we may see as many as 200 or more people during the day. But we had a funny, very interesting bragging point about our lovely visitor center at mile marker 106. We've been having a few upgrades and improvements. We just had brand new impact windows and doors installed, which not only has helped us, helping our AC, helping us be safer during hurricane season, but also just helped to beautify the building. And speaking of that, we have started a sponsorship opportunity. We're calling it our Beautification Legacy Club. So we are asking people to help donate, just to help us do some more projects around the chamber and just make it, more beautiful to represent Key Largo and welcome our visitors.
Well, that's becoming an iconic building there, and you are the stewards of it, charged with taking care of it for the future. And again, so you're looking for a little assistance to make that happen. And do reach out to the Key Largo Chamber of Commerce to find out more. You can go to Key Largo Chamberofcommerce.com, I believe is the website.
.org, actually. Key Largo Chamber.org.
Oh, I'm going back to the previous page. Yes, absolutely. KeyLargoChamber.org. Well, Suzi, I know you have a parking spot to find and a county commissioners meeting to get to. Anything else you'd like to mention at this time?
I actually just scored a parking spot, so it's going to be a good day. But I think primarily it's just everyone, please remember Taste the Keys coming in October. Be looking, some marketing has already started and just some information. Pay attention to tastethekeys.com, where you can see all of the participating restaurants as they sign up and their menus and get ready. We are still accepting restaurants to participate. So if any restaurant owners, managers, chefs are listening out there and you would like to be part of this exciting event in October, just get in touch with us at the Key Largo Chamber.
Perfect. Thank you, Suzi, for being here. Safe travels to you. We will see you soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. Have a great day.
Take care. You do the same. Suzi Youngberg. She is the president, CEO, Greater Key Largo Chamber of Commerce, actually the legendary Key Largo Chamber of Commerce. On Good Morning Keys, we'll return with more of Good Morning Keys in just a moment.
If you're on vacation to relax and have fun, we have an app for that. The Greenhouse carries products that can help you reconnect with your inner child, dance with confidence, reduce stress, and we have others that'll help you relax with a good night's sleep.
Whether you're a cannabis connoisseur or just canna-curious, our team of highly trained bud tenders are here to help you reach all your vacation goals.
Just dance your way into one of our many locations and share your goals with one of our highly trained bud tenders. All product recommendations come with a money-back guarantee, no medical card needed. You just have to be 21 or older.
I tried the Greenhouse Guarantee, 100% satisfaction or your money back, and I'm still smiling.
The Greenhouse. We spell it with 3 E's so that you can't say it without smiling. If smiling is your goal today, then type the word green with 3 E's into your browser and find the Greenhouse that's closest to you.
Stop on by and say hi.
We're up and down the Florida Keys and other parts of South Florida.
Are you frustrated by weight gain even though you constantly diet? Do you have low energy or always feel tired? It could be hormonal imbalance. Hormonal imbalances, especially as we age, can be the cause of depression, weight gain, mood swings, decreased libido, and many other chronic conditions. At Keys Med Spa, we have helped thousands of women and men regain their hormonal balance with BioT, bioidentical hormone optimization therapy, and the results are life-changing. Keys Med Spa BioT hormone therapy is safe, effective, painless, and affordable. And the big difference at Keys Med Spa, this is all overseen by renowned Dr. Peterson, who has had a medical practice in the Keys for over 27 years. Cool sculpting, Botox, skin treatments, BioT hormone therapy, and more. Dr. Peterson and his team are here to help you maintain your youthful glow and vitality. To see if BioT hormone therapy is right for you, call Keys Med Spa today at 305-587-9183.
Get ready to laugh out loud with the Greenhouse Giggles. Brought to you by the Greenhouse Dispensaries of Florida. Monday through Friday, it's a hand-picked lineup of timeless TV comedy that guarantees smiles, chuckles, and full-on giggles. Each episode features legendary performers like Red Skelton, Bob Hope, The Three Stooges, Betty White, George Burns, Milton Berle, Dick Van Dyke, and so many more. So catch the giggles, the Greenhouse Giggles, weekdays 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Sponsored by the Greenhouse, here on Keys Living TV.
If it's happening in the Keys, you will hear about it here. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Good morning, Keys. It is now 8:52. Good morning to you. The day after the election, we've been reporting on the election results on the local news segments. So congratulations to those who did prevail last night, and thanks to everyone who stepped up and made the continuing commitment to serve, or the first-time commitment to serve. We are grateful for those who give back to our community in their time and talents. We're going to say good morning to someone else giving her time and talents to us. It's the Sanctuary Communications Manager, Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary, Julie Cheon, with us. Hi, Julie. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Doing well. It's a beautiful morning out there today. So if you're not out on the sanctuary now, get out on there soon. It's beautiful out.
Yeah, conditions are almost perfect. And we're going to talk about some of those conditions in a second. But also, you wanted to bring to our attention an incident that happened recently at New Smyrna Beach involving manatees. And you just were informing me that mating herds may be seen. So tell us what happened at New Smyrna Beach and how it relates to us here.
Sure. So up in New Smyrna Beach, A few manatees stranded themselves, and through the process, some really good Samaritans, and in fact, they were first responders. It was the local fire department, ended up pushing them back out into the water. But that wasn't coordinated with Fish and Wildlife. And so it's very important if you see a manatee stranded or you think they're stranded to always contact Fish and Wildlife. And their phone number is pretty easy. It's 888-404 FWCC. And it's particularly important now because it's sort of mating herd season. And if people don't know what a mating herd is, I will briefly explain it. I think most people know what a manatee is, but I know you go all across the country. So if you can picture a giant potato with fins and a big wide tail fin, that's our manatee. But so if you can picture a manatee mating herd, they come into shallow waters with typically one female and several males. And sometimes they'll be very quiet, but the males are usually trying to work their way underneath the female. And so they can be very quiet, they can be very active. So anytime you do see a manatee, you see something going on and you think, and you're not sure what's happening, you think they're in distress, make sure you call wildlife. They're the pros, and they'll get it worked out, and they'll let us know whether there's an issue or whether it's just, a little amorous behavior on those giant potatoes in the water.
First time I've heard it described as a giant potato, but that is a pretty good description. Julie Cheon, Sanctuary Communications Manager, Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. So, moral of the story, involve FWC. They're the authorities to call if you do see a manatee or a manatee herd that you think is in distress. Leave it to the professionals who are tasked with that. So we talked last month a little bit about heat stress and the marine heat wave that could be coming. What's happened since last month, and what are you seeing on the reefs currently?
Yeah, so we're moving from the preparation phase to the action phase. And so our scientists are still closely tracking the temperatures, particularly at the seafloor. Those seafloor temperatures are where the reef is. So, that's where the corals are actually experiencing them. So we track those at the seafloor, and the conditions vary very much from site to site, which is really one reason that our local measurements are very important. And what we're seeing this year is similar to what we've seen other years, is that the waters on the bay side really warm up, and they flow through the channels, mostly in the lower keys, the 7 Mile Bridge, down Big Pine. And so because those warm waters flow through there, areas like Looe Key tend to be the warmest, whereas areas a little further north on the Key Largo area don't get quite as warm. But let me tell you, everything right now is too warm for corals at this point. So we're beginning to see the effects of accumulated heat stress on the reefs. And we're seeing some bleaching. And the prognosis is we're going to continue to see some bleaching. But we are moving into the action phase, and some things have already been implemented. Our partners actually have taken some of their high value nursery coral and moved them to land-based nurseries. And that's kind of, that's one of the ways to kind of take them off of this area that's just too hot, where we've learned that they will not survive. Alternatively, they've moved them to either deeper sites or other sites that are a little cooler and receive a little less light. So they can still stay in the water. They're still staying out in the water, but they're moving to more appropriate sites. So some of those sites were identified by our coral practitioners and our scientists. So some of that is happening. Something new that people will see on the water shortly down at Looe Key is that one of our partners has a nursery down there. And now for the first time, we're doing a pilot project where we're deploying these shade structures. And they're about 5 meters wide. They're hexagonal. They get connected in groups. So you'll have a group of these here. And those are intended to help shade this coral nursery that's down there. Because what we found is it's not just the heat that affects the coral, but it's also the light. And so we've seen that shading can help reduce light intensity in smaller scale projects. This is a larger scale pilot project, and those should be deployed any day now. They may have already been deployed today. I'm just not quite sure of that. So if you're on Lukey and you see these floating shade structure, these, they're about 5 meters, that's about 15 feet across, and there'll be several connected together. It's not a playground. It's also in a protected area, an area that's already protected, that boats and vessels should already be staying out of the area. But that's what it is. There are buoys that are going in with them, those little pencil buoys, we like to call them, to warn people of them. And they're also going to be lit at night, so they're not a hazard to navigation. So a lot of thought has gone into this. And so it's pretty exciting. And what they're doing in this case is they're shading a portion of the nursery, and then they're going to leave the other portion unshaded. And they're going to check and see how the light and the temperature changes and how the coral responds from one side to the next. So that'll be an interesting progress. And in the next week or so, you'll see some pictures on our social media. So I'll put that out there. But these nursery corals are really important. They do represent genetically distinct Florida corals that survive previous losses. So these appear to be, a lot of these corals in the nurseries appear to be a little more robust. And, hopefully these will be the folks that help survive and help keep the reefs going. Yeah. So we've learned in the past, you need to act early, and certainly our scientists and our partners are certainly doing that. We really don't know how the remainder of the season will unfold. Conditions will change. It's winds, it's currents, weather. So we're just going to keep watching and assessing this and seeing what comes next.
Very well. Julie Cheon, she is the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary Communications Manager on Good Morning Keys. Let's talk about the school district. I had this discussion with Sue Voltansky, school board member, about Monroe County becoming a NOAA Ocean Guardian school district. Maybe you can help explain what that means for students in the Florida Keys. It was defined somewhat by Dr. Voltansky in our discussion, but talk about what this distinction does mean specifically for the students in the Florida Keys.
Oh yeah, so this is amazing. So the Monroe County School District was recently recognized as a NOAA Ocean Guardian School District. Now we have NOAA Ocean Guardian schools throughout the United States, but this is only the second recognized NOAA Ocean Guardian School District in the entire country, and it's also the largest district in the country. It's been an amazing designation, or amazing work, because it really works. It really depends on the students, the educators, the families, and the partners. It's not simply teaching the students about conservation. The students actually get to participate in the projects. And one of those projects, and they did several of these up and down at different schools, but they were student designed and constructed native rainwater filtration gardens. So that, the gardens to filter the water to prevent any contaminants getting into our nearshore waters. So they help reduce stormwater runoff, and they really gave students a very tangible way to see how something they do on land ultimately affects water quality. And we also thank the partners who came out, because I know the Sheriff's Department was out there helping. They're always great, such great supporters of the community. And it really was a community effort out there. But the important part is, we had our celebration. We had it at the Eco Discovery Center. It was about a week ago. It was a fantastic celebration. But the important thing is, so what's next? What happens next? And we continue to help support that. Recently, we participated in a new teacher orientation where we let them know about all the resources that the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary and NOAA have, all the educational resources that they can use in their classrooms. And it's all free educational material. So if you Google NOAA and educational material, you will get to the page there. If you're looking for educational material for your students, it's there. You can also contact us at the sanctuary. And if you're local, you can go to the Florida Keys Eco Discovery Center. It's an awesome place for a field trip. It's a great resource for local educators. You can go in person, it gives an opportunity to learn about the habitats and the species. And if you don't happen to be local, you can visit it virtually online. We have 2 virtual items that you can go. If you go to the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary Eco Discovery Center page, you will see that we have a virtual experience where you can walk through a portion of the Eco Discovery Center. We don't have it all built out yet, but we have a significant portion. And then there's another mangrove habitat virtual experience, which is great for students or even somebody who's just interested. So we have all kinds of resources, and having this Ocean Guardian School District really creates another opportunity, really, so the students can connect what they learn in the classroom with this amazing marine environment that we have right outside our door.
Yeah, we are very fortunate in that regard, as our students are as well. Is Julie Cheon. She is the Sanctuary Communications Manager, Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. And Julie, we have a minute or so left, but let's just pivot back to boating in the Keys and avoiding sea turtle strikes. We talked about manatees. Now let's talk about our friends, the sea turtles. What should boaters know about avoiding striking our sea turtles here in the waters?
Yeah, it's nesting season, so we'll have more closer to shore. They have to come to the surface to breathe, but they're very difficult to spot. So the short answer is slow down and look around. So maintain a good lookout, follow the posted speed zones, reduce your speed when turtles are present, and give them plenty of room, making sure that we don't circle them, we go around them. If you're going a little slower, you have more opportunity to avoid the animal. If you encounter one, enjoy seeing it, but stay at a respectful distance. And if you see an injured or stranded sea turtle, report it. If you call Fish and Wildlife, they'll get to the Sea Turtle Hospital here. The Sea Turtle Hospital does amazing work here in the Keys. And so, so we look to them to help our turtles, and they do such amazing work they just take in a variety from turtle strikes to disease, just amazing. So just being responsible boating is one of the simplest ways that we can all help protect the wildlife.
Yeah. Well, thank you for all that you do with the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary and getting these important messages out to the public. Is there anything else we should mention before we let you go, Julie?
I think we're good. I think we handled manatees, we handled sea turtles, we handled the Ocean Guardian School, and we know that it's hot, and we're going to be working on that.
Yes.
Protecting those corals.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for all of that and for being here this morning. You have a wonderful day, Julie.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. Bye now. It is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. Lots of things happening, of course, locally. All the results of last night's election, we've been reporting on that and reported it live. Again, thank you to Joe Moore, US 1 Radio, also Todd German of Hometown, and John Bardis alongside for the continuing live coverage last night. We had the recaps in our local newscast, and you can get all the details at the Supervisor of Elections website as well. Congratulations to those who prevailed last night, and looking forward to the future in the Florida Keys. Time now for Glenn Beck. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. Thanks for listening.